So we're learning, different methods how to describe, how to annotate, how to connotate, and it's just pretty much what I do to advance in my studies as to reading, to interscoping, and more towards scanning different captions and seeing what they get on it as far as their tone of characteristics and more of their mood of action at the time as they make their declared selection. And this is just dependent more on detectives, lawyers, prosecutors. It's just dependent on the aftermath of the verdict, and it's just pretty much what is going on. So it's just pretty much working on that. And what I do in advance to 2034 to 2066 is I get more involved with my corporate levels, and be able to get more impassioned with my corporate levels as we composition more packs of 97 77 packs of chicken tenders, shrimp, catfish. Using that fried composition for 98,000 hours is pretty much what we want to do as we last through 98 years of 98 months of deposition as we fry and get those impassions done at multi compound levels of 934, 984, 933, 944, 952, 940, 43, 932. You're just doing orders like that. So just being able to write down what specifically you want under 936 orders of 236 orders. So that's just being able to write down the common statistic that comes in handy, and being able to put that as $936 as a wholesale, as far as it being 9 to 10 people versus it being and with it being 9 to 10 people, you want it to have its own you want it to have its own bill statements. So that each one of those will come with at least 2 or 3 bill statements. So you at least have at least 2 or 3 orders for those times that they needed food, and those accounts are filled on Outlook and Google Docs. So just being able to work with the calendars and the rosters on Google Docs, figuring out when you want to go, and when do you have time to make an order on your certain Google Docs or Outlook components of 87,929 different subscriptions at that time. So just being able to look at subscriptions and previews and different signs of entertainment, based off of what you liked in your interests. So it's based off of Google Fi and Google Docs, Google Fi, Google Docs, Google Infomark. And Google Docs is just the planograph. The Google Infomark is just a planograph of the detail where you add in different transition, different planographs, and you transition them throughout the state. So just being able to use any micrograph as you can, as just been made 2022 to 2024, and this is just basically what we have primarily, as we're making more of 22 different boxes promote and 36 boxes promote, and they're being able to distribute and be able to subtract from the trans tax that we paid for. So that's a sign of a good component happening in sales and balances in stock and trade. So just being able to know more about those common methods of my program that makes my program more sufficiently predominant in 2008 to 2022. So, that it doesn't make matter about competition after 2018, especially after I made my position of occupations and where I want to hang out and be able to endorse my label of corporations. And then thing about my occupation right now is we're down on at least 237 different businesses. So that's just being able to recuperate and reestablish more into what we like to do in the future. So just being able to recuperate as far as having a good tone of gesture to have these things. So that's always a good appreciative of balance. So it's better better than nothing. Being able to do nothing and not make what you want. So it's just like with Cedric. He has a trailer out there. He does special events with those trailers. We hope best of luck to him on those subscriptions. So it's just being able to have the passions to be around the atmosphere, be around the scene, and be able to see different seeing different propositions as far as landscapes and parks and being able to look at different water parks. So at the end of the day, it's just a topic of amusement at the time. We're out having fun, having our time out, in our boulevards, in our avenues. So, that's just looking at about 374 communities just by having a worldwide party like that. So, it's pretty much where you got to look at 934 different groups at the time. So, it's 934 different groups. So, that's just sponsored by AIG, and, it's being able to know more about those prerogatives as you cover more for you find more positive coverage for those citizens and you members. So just being able to know more about that as you make that for that bill statement reference. So you have more prominent decisions of eating more prominent meals. So you could believe that that payment that bill statement is announcing is more paid. And it's just being able to get a brisk start on Amazon and Amazon Prime. So it's being able to know more about what a bill statement is and what it does to promote. So he's being able to print out a bill statement like it's a PDF or like if it's a W-4 or something like that. So you got to take it pretty serious at that time. So that's just using more of a 27,794 spectated unit at the time. So it's being able to know more about the positive rates of the tuition-based capital, knowing more about your local area and its advantages of the metropolitan area. So just being able to know about your city roads and your city maps and all that good stuff. So that's being able to bulk up into the modern cars, as you would know me from being able to have a Tahoe 2014. So it's being able to look at a 2014 Tahoe and being able to discover much of that instance. So other than that, you're working with more of you're working on bill statements, and that's being able to either from my point of perspective, either the consumer makes it or the management makes it. So just being able to know more about my particular position, and that tells me more about what my position does. So that's easy. That's an easy way how to start a position of where somebody needs to start. when you want to start an intermediate skill level of how to train or how to instruct somebody. You got to be able to be a distance away from how you want to be interacted in an occupation like mine. And that's pretty much district manager, general manager, store manager. um, you talking about any kind of manager out there at the time. So just being able to know more about the primary general statements that apply with those types of details as you find more for your local company of desire at the time. So just being able to look at 27,729% of data, and being able to look at that intuition. So that's just looking at 20,000. That's looking at 20,000 right there. So that's just basically what those bill statements are filled up with the latest detail of $20,000 being processed at the time within the last 800 hours. So just being able to process the last $20,000 within the last 800 hours, and being able to process within a state processing fee. So just being able to have its own eco leaf and eco herb of an investment as it spends more of a company level inspired a company level inspired application. So that's just making more for eco leaf, and being able to look more into the greater applications of eco leaf, and being able to know more about having insurance services, and being able to know more about tax services as well, and also giving a radio station application of EcoLeaf performances at the time. Pretty much what all we want to do inside the EcoLeaf building. So just being able to promote more for those balances, and create more of a $980 billion of restoration camp. So just being able to sponsor more for the communities that we have for the communities we have around the state. So just being able to talk in a more clever way and give a more blissful look as you find different trails and different trials of your lifestyle at the time. So virtually mine is pretty much in a propelled performed way. So that's pretty much looking at ball cones, that's looking at Little Stacy, that's looking at Elizabeth Ney, that's looking at Brentwood, that's looking at you already say you already say majority of the properties already. So that's pretty much working on $97,717 of property tax of the property tax. So it's working with property tax as far as you spending a big wad of money. So it's being able to know more about $96,000 being profited as far as it being 6,000 or 827,000. So $827. So this is pretty much where you're using tens and hundreds to promote more for the factor of the property tax factor. So it's just looking at 2018 of 2024, and seeing how much a primary factor of 1824 to 2024 has been since then. So I was just looking at 2.1 interest. So particularly with Matthew Hobbs talking about on his demonstration, it's probably he going through his 5:51 p.m. or his 12:30 a.m. and discovering that he got multiple different upsets and different disappointments that has happened in his life, and there's nothing the public or the population can do about it, as far as him being able to have his own his own perfection time. He needs to be able to get his own math and coordinate it and be able to grab somewhere and get reputating, as far as what we should have seen when we was there. That's probably what we seen that we that's what we thought we should have seen at the time. So, it's pretty much working on his subject, and that's just working on $937 over $97 in hundreds. So, whatever that's supposed to mean, that he's supposed to be able to do that math as well and count it up for you. And you have majority of 9,800 of that type of math made up. So it's being able to have 947 subscriptions of that money being spent, as you making more for that money being authorized at the hour. So if that's anything in the banking situations that he's trying to get, that's pretty much where you're working on those prophecies at the hour. So other than that, it's pretty much what it is. You can't really bless nobody with nothing like that, just because he would know his common law or his common rights of a sort. It'd be too incongruent or too invalid. So it's just working on already expired tasks. That's coming from 1980, 2020. It's already expired, and it's pretty much where you're working with old expiration dates, and being able to know more about stuff that don't require to the system anymore. So I was looking at invalid response, invalid content. You're looking at majority of those types of details. So you wouldn't want to compete with something like that. That's 97 different dimes over 12 dimes at the time. So that's at least 271 rules up to the regulation right there. As you break down the issue and its equation and its scenario. So I was looking at those details, and being able to understand Harry Potter from Chronicles of Narnia, from Harry Potter from Chronicles of Narnia, and Polar Express. You're doing those type of details. So that's pretty much where you're getting that look of 808 different subscriptions of purple, green, and white statistics in 2024 to 2034. So that's just going 624 miles for apparently no reason at the time. So you're just being able to catch more into the 6424 law, and understanding more about the adaptations that arise when you make more definition and more diverse imagery happen. So that's just being able to create more characters than you can actually create, and being able to create a good gesture of amount of good creation. So that's pretty much as I'm working on that. And it's pretty much working on that. So that's at least what, $9,000. So you got to spend that. That's hundreds already spent up. At least you're spending something on characters that you would like, and being able to know something that you would understand more about, instead of it being a 430 type deal. It's more than a 1920 type deal. So as you work with 2036 to be exact. So you got to be exactly right about time and proficiency of Pacific manner at the time. So as being able to know more about 1923 to 2041, and being able to predict the weather, and predict the way of prometrics, and you're just trying to predict the way of prometrics, and that's basically what you get in all sports of life at the time. You're working with $97 in every sport, and every sport got a season, got its own space time to play the sport. So it's being able to work with $97,000 in promotion. Being able to produce more than $8,000 a day. That's pretty much where you're using $8,000 a day to promote that good stuff. So, that's pretty much where you're using, fruit and light vegetables and, stuff like that to hydrate the community of different sorts. And, the this is the tip about keeping those communities updated. You know, basically what you want to do is color them. You know, be able to color them and give them a name. So you know that's pretty much where you found Elizabeth Nay or Little Stacy or Rosewood Zaragoza or Gibbons. You know, you see different stories like that. So you know, just being able to look at more of those compassions and looking at those sources. So you know, just being able to know more about how water preserves your fun and your talent, so you can have more for the respect of your semester. So you know that's already working on $98,000 of pool requirements. And you know, basically how you do that is you figure out different situations within the region, and you know that's basically where you figuring out statistics of the game, and you know being able to understand more of the common complaints that happens. So what we do is we make a greater statistic out of it, since it's a big deal, and you know it's something that we need to configure and understand more about, and get more common sense to it. So it's pretty much working with that detail, and being able to being able to boost up the intent is pretty much what we want to do. We want to be able to boost up the intent level, so that takes a certain level of IQ, and then it don't take no more after that. But it does have an escalation of progression in the future. So it does have a future progression of moving forward in the slant in the future. So that's pretty much where we're working with progressing and updating different compounds of the polynomials. And reason why I say polynomials is just because that's the way that I pronounce my company of state at Sears, at Adobe, at Sears, at Adobe, at MoneyGram, at at who else? And the reason why we don't talk about food much often is just because we just talking about the businesses that could comply with the records that we have, that need more factual statistics, to resource with. So just being able to play with different resources with AIG, AARP, and AIG, ARP, and ADP. And that's pretty much where that goes. So that's pretty much working on those platforms and profiles as you spend more towards 971 different checks of green, orange, and blue characteristics, whether it's 300 or 3,000 being transferred over. So just being able to use more towards $30,000 of development at the time of 1934 to 2094. So that's pretty much using the circumference of yellow, green, and blue circumferences, and making more towards a published amount for itself.